What's up, guys? Welcome to the GSL Codeast. We are getting close to the end. This is day one of the round of far. Maru versus GuMiho.
Round of four, the round of far, whatever you want to call it, Tasteless. This is pretty epic. Someone today will be advancing to the finals in GSL. Neither of these guys have championships yet.
That's right. GuMiho, somebody who's been with us since the very beginning.
Maru
of
too.
StarCraft 2. Maru too. But I feel like GuMiho is making a little bit more of a splash a little bit earlier on.
It's like I punch you and break your nose because you only say GuMiho.
He was there as well.
They've both been playing forever.
But GuMiho, he's been somebody we've seen in, I think, like basically almost every single GSL.
Close.
Right?
Close
to. Pretty much.
I wonder if Maru's been in every GSL.
I don't think he has, but not in Codeast. I don't think so. We'd have to check that.
Yeah.
But so he might be getting to the finals. He might be taking it all the way. Maru, of course, I think somebody who's been on a bit more of a hot streak in the past few years.
Yeah.
Certainly, I'd say the favorite to move on here tonight, although GuMiho may cause an upset. I would not be disappointed to see that. And, of course, on the other side of the brackets over here on Saturday, by the way, it says 6 p.m., so...
No, 13.
Oh, I'm sorry, the 13. I'm looking at the finals. So we have 1 p.m. there on Saturday. It's going to be Classic versus Sue. Now, Sue, if he does get to the finals again, it would be like the 6th time he's done that, he might not win again. We don't know.
Oh,
if he wins, that's crazy. And, of course, the finals is going to be on the 24th, Saturday, 6 p.m., so do not miss out on that either.
Indeed. A lot of great StarCraft 2 to finish out the season. Of course, the biggest story, does Sue make it to his 6th finals? Kind of crazy to think about. But Maru and GuMiho, man, whoever wins here has a very good shot at taking down that championship because Sue might be in it.
Yeah.
Oh, look, 15th Codeast versus 14th. Ah, you got me, Tasteless.
I got you again.
You got
Damn,
me.
I'm good.
Oh.
15 Codes's. That's crazy.
Jeez.
I actually thought there was more of a disparity, though. I thought it was going to be a few less Codes's for Maru, but it goes to show you.
If you count the open seasons, Maru has more than GuMiho.
Oh, wow.
Just to throw that out there, because I know he was in at least a couple of those. So, but open is not necessarily Codeast. But that's pretty insane. Look at that. It's like a Nesty award and a half, but I guess it's not on a row.
It's a GuMiho award is what it is. To give him his own award. This is going to be a really special TBT here tonight. Now, GuMiho, I would say, has improved a lot in the past few months. We've seen him play in some of the scariest games he's ever played. I think he's refined that aggressive style. He's found exactly his approach to the game. It's not something mirrored or mimed from other players. It really is a game view that he's developed and honed and is now harnessing to have success in these tournaments. Maru, though, has really figured out his rhythm, if you will, for quite some time now and seems to be only improving on that.
Yeah, he's been one of the top Terrans for a really long time. Definitely considered one of the best in the world since Heart of the Swarm came out.
We're going to go to the interview now and see what these two players are thinking before we start our match. Our two Terrans tonight have the same goals. They are hungry for the GSL finals. Let's meet GuMiho and Maru. You made it to the semifinals. First time in 5 years. How do you feel?
5년 전에 여기서 역수압을 당해서 떨어졌는데 이번에는 그런 일 없었으면 좋겠어요.
네, 고병재 선수 매 라운드마다
5 years ago, I had a reverse seed and I was eliminated. It's not going to happen again tonight.
네, 제가 사실 8강에서도 정말 졌다고 생각했는데 이렇게 이게 한 번 더 기회가 생길 줄 몰랐고 오늘도 이겨서 우승에 대한 기회를 계속 이어가고 싶어요.
I've got an opportunity to get this far. Hopefully luck's on my side and I can make it all the way to the finals.
자, 이번에는 조성주 선수입니다. 끝나지 않은 도전.
Let's go ahead and meet Maru.
네 번째 4강이에요. 네, 오늘 소감 어떠세요?
It's your 4th GSL semifinals. How do you feel to be here now?
못 가가지고 4강에 대한 기억이 안 좋은데.
I never really make it to the finals, so a lot of my semifinals memories are not happy ones.
잘하는 테란이었는데 왜 결승에 못 갔을까요?
제가 4강 때
But you're a great Terran, you've got a great reputation as a solid player. How come you can't get further than this point before?
오늘 참 많은 응원을 받고 있어요.
Whenever I'm in the semifinals, it's always just been tough matches.
주변에 어떤 응원들을 받고 계세요?
What kind of support have you had?
받은 기억이 없어요.
Or we've received before tonight?
제 스스로 열심히 했습니다.
오늘 그럼 뚫고 올라가 봐야 될 것 같아요.
He says I don't get much support. I just practice myself. I just work hard.
참 인간적인 모습을 승리 인터뷰 때 보여주시기도 했는데 연습 상대로서 변윤 선수가 떨어져서 도와줬으면 좋겠다.
We had the winners interview last time.
도움 받고 오셨어요?
You said you hoped you'd be up against Byeon would get eliminated so that you can end up playing against Maru in the semifinals. He says, yeah, in some ways Byeon's helped me a lot.
저는 그래서 그냥 농담했던 건데 지고 나서 막상
I said it like that because
어떡하지 이렇게 생각했는데
I just never thought Byeon would actually be eliminated.
개의치 않고 열심히 도와줬어요.
After he was actually eliminated by Maru, I actually felt bad for him.
상대로서 그건 도움도
I kind of felt bad even saying that.
주변에 응원도 많이 받고 계시죠?
But he helped me a lot.
제가 5년 만에 상황 올라와서 그런지 정말 예전에 같이 게임을 했던
Tell us about the support you had leading up to this moment.
그리고 이번에는
Because it's been a while,
응원의 메시지를 되게 많이
especially to get to the semifinals. All my friends, especially my old pro gamer buddies, everybody's been texting me and giving me support. They really want to see me get
누가
far.
올라가도 첫 결승입니다. 절대 놓칠 수 없는 기회잖아요.
Whoever makes it to the finals,
서로에게 강력한 한마디씩
it'll be their very first GSL finals. Before we start, anything to say?
거의 마지막이라 생각하고 준비했으니까 각오하시길 바랍니다.
I think this is my last chance. I practiced just as hard. Look forward to my performance. And what about you, GuMiho?
정말 져선 안 된다고 생각하고 이번에 지금 또 언제 올라올지 모르기 때문에 정말 열심히 준비했으니까 조심하시길
I have the
바랍니다.
same mindset.
네, 조심하시라 이렇게 답을
I put a lot of
해주셨는데요.
effort into
과연 첫 결승에
the games I'm going to be showing you guys tonight, so watch for that.
4강 1경기
And that does it for the interview.
I got something to say.
Artosis, I need to interview you real fast. Oh, hold on. Wait, I'll be right back.
속도는 엄청나게 빠르고 형 삼촌 아저씨들을 무지하게 무찌르고
테란계의 한태근 선수입니다.
훨씬 깨졌어요. 훨씬까지 태연 선수의 모두가 바로 오늘 탄생한 우승은 축하드립니다.
고병재 선수는요 정말 잘할 때는 엄청납니다. 필드마스터 고병재 선수 GuMiho all kills epic so runs up to 3-0. Unbelievable.
딱 나왔을 때 질 것 같지 않은 선수의 1등이에요.
I'm gonna bring the hell. 고대세 8강 1차 대결은 필드마스터 고병재 선수
정말 공격성을 구성지가
8강 경기에서 올라간 4강 고병재 조정두 선수 생애 처음으로 코드S의 결승에 올라갈 수 있는 기회를 잡을 수 있어요.
Okay, tasks. Listen. Maru just said in an interview, he's like, yeah, I think this is my last chance. I hate it when these kids say stupid shit like that.
Why?
This is his last chance to go to a finals. He's been one of the best Terrans in the world forever. Sue just said, he's like, that's the last finals I'm ever going to get to, this one. He's about to get to another finals the next season. It's like, guys, if you're one of the very best, if you are a 7,000 MMR player in the Korean server, you're probably going to have another shot. Okay, you just keep playing, you're fine.
Chance you can make it back. These guys, neither of them been in a GSL Codes final, so a lot of pressure on these two right now. It is pretty hard to get back into the round of 4. I definitely think that both these guys can do it considering how well they did this time, but it's not going to be easy. Let's see what exactly GuMiho is going to do here against Maru. Maru, he is, as of late, been mixing it up a little bit more and trying some more experimental builds, but I think Maru might be going with some more traditional play style, and I think we're going to see GuMiho do a lot more of that aggro openings that he's been known for in TVT in the last several months.
Definitely agree with you on that. I'm personally favoring Maru. What about you here?
I'm favoring Maru as well. I would be very excited if GuMiho moved on, but that would just be a little bit, I think, unprecedented considering how well Maru's been playing.
Well, I think Maru he's like more aggressive than TY, I would generally say, but has a kind of similar style. And I think that TY plays TVT closest to perfect at everyone. You know what I mean?
I think
really
TY
great
wins
defense.
with a ton of little tiny tactics that give him edges. I think Maru occasionally sees an opening, as does GuMiho, where they can do they can pile damage on. So I think it might even be up to who gets a little bit of a tempo lead early on in each game.
All right.
But we'll find out. We're moments away from getting this game started. Definitely tell your friends to join us here tonight. We have GuMiho versus Maru. The winner of this goes into Season 2 of this year's GSL Code S Finals.
Yeah, that's a pretty damn big deal. Both these guys already seeded into next season as well. Will not have to play in the qualifiers. So that's pretty sick. A lot of points going their way as well. Of course, if you win, you go straight to BlizzCon.
That's right. So a lot of pressure here, especially I feel like for GuMiho. I think Maru's been pretty consistent. There's a reason why we put Maru in the 4 horsemen of Terran.
Yeah.
Whereas GuMiho, who's very good, I think I put him right around where we saw Ryung at.
Yeah,
Ryung at in the Intel Extreme Masters in Katowice. Putting him in, he's not quite in that category.
Yeah.
He just hasn't quite done that style of play where we're like, oh my God, we have no idea if anybody can match this. But GuMiho is still on the up and up, and this would be a great chance for him to prove himself and maybe force us to reevaluate where we look at him as a Terran player.
Yeah, well, he's definitely right on the brink right now. In fact, killing some of these Terrans on his way here. He's certainly one of the best at the moment. Will he remain there? That's what the 4 horsemen are, right? These guys are all champions. They've all been on the top for a very long time. Yes, he reverse swept TY, which was pretty surprising. I thought TY really manhandled in the first 2 games. But that's a strong victory. He almost went down and fought back. Can he take out Maru, though, who got to watch 5 of his TBTs where he was trying his best in now a best of 7 after, having a week to practice?
If there was a map that would allow us to have shenanigans start things off, it's Abyssal Reef. A one-on-one map. We'll see if anybody does anything risky. It's always never a bad idea to try to mask your builds early on, especially when you have this many games back-to-back before you can prove that you're worthy to move on to the next round. So let's get this going. GuMiho versus Maru in our only match here in tonight's GSL Code S, a fight to get to that coveted spot in the finals.
We start war, are you ready to fight?
In the upper left, in the blue, he is
cheesing.
Yes, cheesing.
Storm Gaming, GuMiho.
So, like we were saying earlier, this is definitely a map where you can do something super aggressive since you know your opponent's starting location. It's a 2-player map. So we'll have to see how his opponent reacts. Down here in the bottom right, in the red, his opponent.
Jin Air Greenwings, Maru.
Wow. Okay, so double gas opening here for Maru. Will be not making a very fast command center, which definitely could help him out a bit. But how quickly will he find out about this rush, Tasteless?
Thing is, I feel like if we had to, predict who would do what kind of opening on this map, I thought it was a pretty clear bet that GuMiho would do this. Since GuMiho is probably going to do aggressive builds that are just based out of his main and not anything super crazy like this, I would assume that he would have done something like this on this map. We'll see if Maru's actually ready. It doesn't seem like he really is, just considering the circumstances here.
Well, even his first Reaper is a little bit slower than GuMiho's, and of course GuMiho will be making him nonstop. If he can get this factory up, get some factory units out, he definitely can hold on. But how many SCVs is he going to lose? Because it's not like, is he going to lose SCVs? It's much more, how many SCVs will go down here? Because he's going to have to pull some for his defense.
Keep in mind the first Reaper and keeping that alive, and the position of that is incredibly important. And the fact that this Reaper is headed out right now and looks to be doing a beeline to scout over here into the upper left. Hold on, never mind. This Reaper has actually spotted the beginnings of this rush. I was going to say, if that Reaper had actually left, that could have been disastrous.
By the way, Maru started a second Reaper immediately. That's really important. His factory already making a Hellion as well. This is looking pretty good for him so far, but that's a great kill on that first Reaper.
Now, as long as GuMiho can keep these 2 Reapers alive for as long as possible, there's very little that you can do. The SCVs just cannot catch up. Cannot catch up with those the Reapers themselves. It's just too fast. If he can actually target down this one Reaper, no, too much damage there. He has to back up. He's going to regen a little bit, and he might come in later, try again.
He's making a factory at the moment back in his main base. Still flying around with these Reapers, trying to find a way in. But with this many SCVs and a Hellion, another one, Cyclone actually on the way. When that Cyclone comes out, that's basically a hold.
Ooh. Okay, nicely done. He gets that Hellion.
That's a big deal that he got the Hellion indeed.
Yeah, that was a little bit We were not expecting that. You know, the SCVs are very vulnerable. If he targets us down right, especially with those grenades connecting. In fact, I was going to say that little location between the command center and the starport in the factory is a great location to abuse some of these mines here. And in fact, with this many Reapers, let's see if he can get even more abusive here. The SCVs now have to repair.
Yeah, well, it's hard to actually kill off a Cyclone. These things really can take a beating, dealing a lot of damage to these Reapers, but he continues to target down quite a few SCVs.
10 SCVs have been killed off, making the overall count 13 right now for Maru and 24 here for GuMiho.
Brutal.
Big difference there.
Yeah, those were some good moves. Like two of the Reapers that Maru ended up losing, they kind of went down a little bit sloppily, right? Like the first one was running away and kind of get caught, and then the other one got flanked and picked right off. And if you can't keep those alive a little bit longer, that SCV count really stacks up.
Okay, I don't know if GuMiho's done with this aggression just yet. You have to keep in mind that Maru's defending with a very small amount of units, and with a number of Reapers and the grenades present, you can still bounce those units back and actually pick fights accordingly. So he's even taking out that depot. He's continuing to rotate around. I love the one barracks over here just checking where exactly the units are positioned here. He actually shaves off one more Marine.
I love that he's picking up these Marines right now because the Marines are the only thing really threatening the barracks. Reminds me of some StarCraft 1 TVT right now.
Yeah, for sure. He's coming forward again here. These nades just barely dodged here by Maru's Cyclone. But still, the count is getting so low. There's no SCVs here to repair.
Oh, my God.
Wait a minute. Oh, that's it. GuMiho.
Wow.
Nicely done.
Yeah, that was really well executed. Very well microed and everything. And I think Maru's build was not even really that bad. It wasn't like he had a command center building when that came. He got a quick factory, but GuMiho kept the pressure on. Even while continuing to tech up, like transitioning out of his build, he still got the kill during that time, which is really strong.
It goes to show you when you have that barracks up there and you can just see the positioning of their army and you have enough Reapers, you can actually pick fights that you wouldn't ordinarily win if you had to just go in there and think on your feet.
Yeah.
He actually eliminated the Marines and everything else to do was just the Cyclone out there, and then he had enough nades. There's no way the SCVs can get over there and repair properly. Very nicely done here by GuMiho, but there's still plenty more games ahead of him before he can move on to the finals.
Yeah, that's just one map, and you saw Maru kind of smirking while he was sitting there waiting for the next game to be
That was
made.
a salty smirk, Artosis.
Yeah.
I know that smirk.
Yeah. That was Maru's map pick, right? I think that Maru's style overall, like a lot of Vikings tanks early on, is very strong for this map. I think that's probably what he wanted to do, but wasn't allowed to do what he wanted to do. So, you know, he's got 6 games to get a comeback going, and I think that this is not going to be too easy for GuMiho.
Let's take it to Odyssey, game number 2, GuMiho versus Maru.
In a cloud of fire we stand. Fight, we start war. Are you ready to fight? Yeah!
Oh, dude, someone sent an SCV out. In the upper left. Oh, okay. In the upper left.
Storm Gaming, GuMiho.
And gas first out of GuMiho. It's a little bit slower on that racks.
Game 2, guys.
It's so funny.
Maru cheesy. No one in this series is lactose intolerant. In the bottom right in the red, he is.
Jin Air Green Wings, Maru.
So Maru's only doing a proxy 1 barracks.
I thought there was a second SCV with that.
Oh, never mind.
Yeah, there's
You're
a
right.
second SCV. Yeah,
I
he's going to
didn't
do
see
it. So, guys, I already know how Game 3 is going to go. Is they're both going to do the same strategy, and it's going to be a base rate. It's going to be madness.
Oh my God, those games are actually really funny. There's been a few double, like both players going proxy Rex Reaper, and then like one guy has like one more SCV or one more Marine or something. No one has any economy, and everyone's like landing command centers trying to drop mules in random spots. Funny stuff, but GuMiho with this tech opening. Let's see if Maru can actually knock him down this time. This map going to be a little bit harder. Abyssal, especially where he proxied, right? He could go up the main front part or jump in the back of the main base, and those two are very close. Here it's a lot longer. If you want to jump into the main base, you have to go way up the side right there where you see it. So it takes a bit longer, and it takes 2 jumps to get up, and that makes quite a big difference.
We got some mech support here in the audience. Artosis already agrees.
Oh, absolutely.
He almost knocked all his drinks off the table. He got so excited when he read that sign, but...
I was talking to that guy actually in the elevator on the way up.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, he was quite upset that I had predicted TY to take down GuMiho.
Another pox you've cast,
Another
Artosis.
Indeed.
Now, I'm going to say something that I think might annoy a lot of people, but we've seen some of the Reaper micro here from Maru in previous games. It wasn't quite as good as Beyond's, and I think GuMiho's might be a little bit better. But he is bringing 2 SCVs with us, so it's a little bit more muscle than just pure Reaper.
Yeah, let's see what he gets done. Cyclone is on the way, so that, of course, helps a lot, but...
Good nade hit.
No additional units until then. He can get a lot of damage before then.
He's knocking his own SCVs over there. He meant to do that. I don't know about those 2 SCVs, Artosis.
Well, he's got to buy some time right now, running away with this Reaper, and the Cyclone is out.
Okay, the Cyclone's coming in here, and it seems like he does bounce one back with the nades. SCVs are actually trying to block off this area so the Cyclone can finish the remaining units off.
Well,
to show you. Oh, he actually doesn't.
By the way, there is like a Reaper in Maru's base, so he actually is going to lose more SCVs than GuMiho tasteless.
Yeah, this goes to show you what happens if you don't have anything that can produce attack units in your base. The abuse that one Reaper can actually do.
Yeah, this is really rough. Like, this Reaper does not ever have to die unless other things come to kill it. And look at this, the Reaper's having to go home for Maru. Just to put this in perspective, GuMiho killed Maru with basically the same build, and then stopped Maru with the build Maru was using.
Go up.
And dealt more damage, really.
All right, the Cyclone's up here. Oh, good. Good juggling. I got to say, these guys have gotten so good at juggling with the Reaper grenades.
Yeah, really quite good indeed. Look at that. It kills off everything.
It's funny because clearly you could have done this for a while, but people just weren't good enough at it, and now we see it. And it's kind of like a moment where you look at the game and you think, I can't believe that's how it didn't start.
Yeah,
with plays like that, because it seems to make so much sense.
If you go back in time and see the way that people played StarCraft 2 at its beginning, everyone was so god awful. Like Platinums right now would win the GSL, like it was that bad. But
okay, now hold on. There's a lot of Reapers coming up here. He is going to get that one Cyclone. The 4 Reapers are backing up, but I believe there's more Reapers. In fact, I know there's more Reapers incrementing out right now, which means the low Cyclone count can be abused here by this many mobile units.
Oh my god, that is a lot of Reapers.
He's landing the barracks closer.
He needs it closer to build it more quickly.
He probably wanted to scout it, and he's like, wait a minute.
And his own Cyclone coming up. He actually might be able to force a cancel on this.
He might be able to force a win if he
with
gets
his own Cyclone.
Well, he's bringing his Cyclone and these Reapers. I mean, and we know that the bounce physics is so important to note when you see these Reaper fights, because not only is that unit not really attacking while it's bouncing, but it's getting repositioned. And even if the nades don't connect, then it's a zoning issue, right? Like, look at this. He bounces it away. Okay, that's more damage his Reapers then do to the remaining infantry units.
Oh, my God. This is crazy right now. He's trying to just end it with his own Cyclone up here, killing a lot of SCVs as well. Good micro here from GuMiho with his Cyclone.
Cyclone versus Cyclone. We got another Cyclone that's going to pop out of this factory any second, but he has to get rid of this Cyclone first.
Oh, my God. Look at that. I guess he could lock on,
got confused for a second when that animation came up. Okay, he gets that last Cyclone. Now the Liberator, obviously it's not particularly mobile. This army can kind of loop around and choose wherever it's going to actually fight this.
This is absolutely wild. This command center could go down as well.
I mean, 89 HP. It dies before I could possibly play-by-play that. Oh, and there's now a Viking.
Oh, my God.
Look at this.
This is so wild.
This game alone has been completely crazy. He can get it. Can he get it?
Oh, my God. The SCV's coming down, though, to save it. Look at that. And now he's going to lose the Viking. Oh! This is such a crazy game.
Nail-biter of a start here.
Okay, so we have to clean this up a little bit, right? 21 SCVs for GuMiho, 30 for Maru. Command center going to be a little bit quicker for Maru, who is also getting Cloak, but a Raven is popping out. So it seems like obviously Maru is going to be in the lead after all of this, but GuMiho, I would say, dealt with this pretty darn well.
You know, it's funny because that was a series, or a situation, I should say, back there, where it seems almost like Maru was about to win it.
Yeah.
You definitely can have games snowball if you just get the right hits with those Reapers and the nade placements, especially with the Cyclone accompanying that. Because a Cyclone, it has to be answered immediately. And if you have good control along with the Reapers, it makes them answering that very hard to do so.
I want to be a little bit critical just for a moment, if I could be a complete downer. GuMiho building his command center on the low ground, I think, is the big problem for him here. if he had built that in his main base with a nod towards the fact that, you know, Maru has a big, strong early force and has sacrificed a lot to get this early force, I think that he is far ahead right now.
I don't disagree with you. I think you're right that the sheer fact that this guy is proxying you.
Yeah. Like, why are you building this on the low ground? You really need to get your SCVs down there that quickly? Is that what?
This guy has sacrificed
the game turner?
so much.
Yeah, exactly.
You can sacrifice a little bit in defense, and you'll probably still come out ahead. Now, the Banshee's here. There is a Reaver, but there wasn't anything to defend up here when the Banshee came in. So 5 kills so far before that Banshee is chased out.
Yeah, we'll get a lock on here, but not necessarily going to get that kill. Oh, double lock on. Plus, he brings up the Liberator right away. Picks that off. Very nicely done.
Second Banshee coming in, though. Keep in mind, it's 38 SCVs to 22 right now. GuMiho in the deficit. So this Banshee is really keeping the economy of GuMiho oppressed as much as Maru can do that. He's doing it.
He's got almost twice the worker count right now at home. Now, Cloak Banshee is going to be coming out of GuMiho. Will Maru have the correct defense here? He's got 3 Cyclones to push it back if he has an available scan.
Did he actually hit the refinery first with 1 hit? That was a bit of a strange move, since every Banshee shot counts so much. Oh! The Banshee's still alive. There should be 1 more scan available here to try to take out this, and there it is. And so that's going to clean that up. And not anywhere near as much damage, at least when you compare that to how much was dealt to GuMiho.
Yeah.
GuMiho is not able to respond anywhere near as quickly as Maru is.
Maru with another Banshee going across the map right now. See if he can hit that main base.
Oh, wow. Great catch here by GuMiho. It's not going to be enough to take that Banshee out just yet, but there's 2 Marines here. That might be able to do the trick, depending on what the Banshee decides to target.
The other Banshee, though, should be going to the main base. Yeah, look at that. It's going to take a while to kill this off. His Cyclone's way out of position right now.
So the weird thing is, even though these Banshees are getting cleaned up, because of the lead that Maru already has, it's okay if he's losing these Banshees because he's still taking out SCVs.
Yeah.
He's still keeping GuMiho at roughly the same spot economically he was a while back.
Yeah, well, GuMiho definitely has been building a better and better army, but with Siege Tanks in position, it's going to be hard for him to actually break this. Maru, though, moving out right now. A little bit surprised on that, but GuMiho, this is his 1 chance to try to get something done.
It's not going to work. There's too much of a ground presence here, and the air army doesn't have anything that supplements it on the other side. So eventually these Marines and these Marines end up taking out everything. Raven even taking some damage here is actually picked off as well. GG. Maru takes game number 2, evening things out.
Yeah, that was his initial rush wasn't going that well, and especially when GuMiho was countering with the Reaper and getting some damage done. But when he was able to go over and punish that low ground command center, that really worked out well for him. You know, the Cyclones didn't have a high ground advantage. He lost 1, which allowed his Cyclone push to come up the ramp. He lost like 10 more SCVs because of that. Had to cancel his command center. I really think that if GuMiho makes his command center on high ground and keeps his Cyclones on top of his ramp, then he won't necessarily win this game, but this game is still being played right now. And maybe he does win this game. Maybe he goes up 2-0.
This series, by the way, has been so action-packed so far. Now, keep in mind, guys, game 1, it was GuMiho that proxied Maru, and game 2, Maru proxied GuMiho. So I don't think these proxy strats are going to keep on coming, but they've had a lot of success with them. Anyways, guys, we're going to go to a short break. When we come back, game number 3, GuMiho versus Maru in the semifinals of the GSL Codex.
Down, 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 down.
Do your impression. Job's done.
Oh, should I do that? I am Tasteless, and with me is Artosis, and we are StarCraft 2 casters for the GSL in South Korea.
Oh, you just got it! Wow.
Yeah. So today we are going to be recording our announcer pack.
Yeah, you know, as soon as they started showing announcer packs were coming out with StarCraft 2, being announcers, we were pretty excited to be able to get in on that.
Yeah.
It's going to feel pretty cool to have our voices actually in the game forever. Okay, do that again, do that.
sorry, dude. My favorite character in StarCraft 2 besides Artosis? I don't know. I have a favorite race. I played Protoss in StarCraft 1 and StarCraft 2, but I don't know if I have a favorite character. Do you?
Does the Oracle count? I like to use Oracles a lot.
It's either your favorite or the least favorite, depending on what race you're playing. Nuke!
You have to do it twice.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was so ready to get down to 59. Okay, we'll go again.
Nuclear launch detected. You cannot let this happen.
Do we practice a lot? Not exactly. I guess
we use our voices.
We use our voices. Yeah, we do a lot of casting here in Korea, somewhere between like 3 to 5 days a week. So honestly, it's our first time really doing anything like this. So I'm a little nervous. I'm really curious to see how it's going to turn out, but we're definitely excited.
Yeah, and we have a few lines in there that are like pretty funny, I think, but we'll see if they actually make it in.
Yeah. In case it's not funny, I'm not going to pick one. So we'll see.
Job's done.
That's great.
Oh, that's pretty bad.
봄꽃책에서 듣다. 있는 그대로 맑고 깨끗하게 피어나라고 겨울을 이겨낸 봄꽃이 내게 말했다. 맑고 깨끗한 칠성사이다.
뭐야 이게? 설마 탄? 전국민 슈팅 그라운드 탄! 지금 사전 예약하세요.
냄새가 나. 어두운 곳에 숨은 냄새를 풍기는 바로 나!
바로 나!
원인은 쾌쾌한 에어컨 냄새. 신제품 페브리즈 차량용으로 상쾌하게.
페브리즈
차량용.
오버워치 아이돌 학교를 소개합니다.
사은서, 우리는 오버워치 아이돌 학교의 교육과정을 성실히 임하며
최고의 게임 아이돌로 성장할 것을 다짐합니다.
좋았어. 이제부턴 진지 모드.
신입생 입학 조건 단 하나. e스포츠와 오버워치를 사랑하고 PC방을 좋아하면 돼요.
뭘 넋을 놓고 보고 있나.
매주 목요일 저녁 10시에 방송됩니다. 오버워치 아이돌 학교.
먼저라 바다기 에이서브리 웬지 아재분들 나이 드신 형님들도 좀 손쉽게 플레이할 수가 있고 일단은 메인 이벤트 진행 한번 해보겠습니다. 나 지금 반지 재미나게 하고 있다고? 반지 가장 좋은 시스템이 아닌가. 성물 2개 실어 성배 떴다고? 성물 2개 나왔어 지금? 공격력 3대 게임이 클래스가 있어 좀 오래 간다고. 그렇지 빵 되게 재밌다. 레벨업 할수록 다양한 할 거리가 있는 반지 나마티 감사드립니다.
Something you never thought you witnessed before. Oh, rock out with your motherfucking cock out. Go, 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 go. Rolling into town to see all my friends. Hit a bottle of Jack and a few dead ends. You better leave your girl back at home. 'Cause if you're rolling with us, you're gonna leave alone. party ends. Sleep away the day so we can do it again. The phone's blowing up, we're at the door. Gotta pick up the boys from the liquor store. I've said it at least 100 times. We got Texas on the dog that rhymes. Just pass the moonshine. Everything is just fine. Hanging out in the sun, throwing down, just having fun. Just pass the moonshine. Everything is just fine. Hanging out in the sun, throwing down, just having fun.
With the higher Rick James and the flying Sly Stone. I'm laid back in the sunshine. It's Anchor and Snoop Dogg. One time for the selector, Chiggy Checker. Shoot my own scenes, the director, connector. Fired up in the wintertime. I'm throwing down till I hit the finish line. I never quit, yeah, this another hit. Oh, bitch, nigga, I created this. I made a grip and took a chip and roller coaster, took a trip and take a picture. Look at this, look at this. And you can see what I see. I mix a bag of that coffee with a sack of that weed. I enter through your mind and put you at ease, and you can tell it cause it smells like a gang of Christmas trees. Compelling to read, see I'm a felon indeed. I like my weed with no seeds. Break down. It's the throwdown, go down, you know how we roll. Anchor and the dog pound. Hello.
Just pass the moonshine. Everything is just fine. Hanging out in the sun, throwing down, just having fun. Just pass the moonshine. Everything is just fine. Hanging out in the sun, throwing down, just having fun. Throwing down, just having fun. Throwing down, just having fun. Throwing down, just having fun.
Oh baby, baby, how was I supposed to know? There's something wasn't right here. Oh baby, baby, I shouldn't have let you go.
All right.
Oh, hello. I didn't see you there. Welcome to the GSL Codas. We are tied up 1-1 right now. You like that?
Yeah. You have your pipe, it's blowing bubbles
That's right.
out.
I'm in a smoking jacket or a bathrobe or something. We're tied up 1-1 right now, but these games have been really weird. We started out in each game with one player proxying the other one, and that in one game snowballed to a win, and the other game it crippled a player for long enough that the other player pulled it off anyways. Yeah. So what do we see in Game 3? Are these guys going to keep proxying? I don't think so, but
this is one of the best maps for it, though.
Yeah, that's the thing, is that sometimes it might sound a little bit weird to say, but you know there's a certain number of predictable strategies that you want to go for. And obviously, you don't want to be overly predictable, but sometimes the idea that that's such a bad strategy because it just seems too obvious, that might be the way to go.
Maybe. I would love to see both of them proxy this time and it be a tie. I think that would be the greatest thing that we could see here.
What if we just keep going to draws all night after the Sartosis?
That would be amazing. I actually had a tie today.
And you know the rules.
A tie.
Oh, really?
Like, it's only my second time the game itself gave me a tie.
Well, I believe in the rules. If we have 8 ties in a row in a GSL match in the semifinals, then the 2 players get to play in Archon mode against the other guy. I'm not 100% sure about that, but I think that's written somewhere deep in the GSL rulebook. Newkirk Precinct, man.
Well,
are we going to have a normal TBT?
I hope that every game just has proxies.
Let's
That's what
see.
I'm hoping
It
for.
might be the case. This is game number 3, GuMiho versus Maru. A fight to get to the finals of the Season 2 2017 GSL Codex.
No proxies.
How strange. In the bottom left, in the blue.
Psystorm Gaming, GuMiho.
Cheers to Psystorm Gaming. Sponsor a lot of good players.
In the bottom right, in the red.
Jin Air Green Wings, Maru.
And cheers to Jin Air Green Wings, the one Korean team that stuck around. Tasteless.
Yeah, one of the older school teams still here. What is GuMiho doing making a barracks in his main? That's not where it goes. It goes outside of his opponent's base. Now, Maru is going to go for a very quick command center.
This is kind of funny.
This
is so meta.
Yeah.
Like,
well, we were talking about proxy the whole time, and I guess you could do the risky opposite.
Like, if GuMiho had decided to proxy here, Maru would just tap out.
Yeah.
You would just die, right? There'd be a Reaper hitting that very shortly. So, pretty ballsy here by Maru. When GuMiho scouts that, he's, oh man, what is that going to feel like? We're like, oh my god, what if I had proxied here?
It's going to feel like regret. But then again, it doesn't mean that it's something that GuMiho can't combat in this game.
Yeah.
GuMiho, by the way, about to get a quick command center of his own here, just now starting. We have the scouting SCV coming up here for Maru, taking a peek at exactly where the tech is here for GuMiho.
Yeah, GuMiho going to go ahead and scout with that Reaper. We see it's already kind of looking for things like proxies. Welcome to
Thanks
the
for
GSL
coming down,
Studios.
guys. Hope you're enjoying the show. I do wonder if we can get to a more normal game where nobody gets injured too much at the start. How do these guys size up? Because I feel like everything that we know about these 2 players would point towards Maru having superior control, superior late game, better push power, better macro even. Although I'd say these guys are probably fairly somewhat close in that. I would still lean a little bit towards Maru.
Yeah, I think it would look a lot like the TY GuMiho series.
Okay.
But, and here's the thing, I think if the TY GuMiho series gets played again, or multiple times, or we just keep resetting reality and keep playing that over and over, I think TY wins it more times than GuMiho, for sure, right? He was up 2-0. Like, yes, GuMiho reverse swept, but I don't think that would be the most normal occurrence in that. And I think that... you know, there are definitely similarities in. I don't want to say Maru and TY are the same at all, but they're a very similar level. They do stylistically do some very similar things in TBT. So, yeah, I think if we get into actual games, it'll kind of look like that, right? Like some cyclones and stuff coming out of GuMiho, whereas Maru trying to outposition him a little bit.
I think GuMiho, one of the players that really stuck by the cyclone.
Oh yeah,
he really stuck by that. And so
he's Mr. Cyclone.
Yeah, he is. If he was an X-Men superhero, he'd be Mr. Cyclone for sure.
His favorite movie is Twister.
Yeah. Oh God, remember that movie? That movie was so bad.
So bad. But that was like all the rage. There was a few movies just like that, like rip-off movies and stuff, of people chasing tornadoes and storms and stuff. It's like this is some sort of romantic,
remember how they
brave
encounter
thing.
an F1 and then an F2 and an F3 and an F4 tornado all in the same day?
Yeah, thank God they have a belt to like
he
tie
ties himself to a belt. He gets pulled into the eye of the storm. There's cows flying around and cars getting ripped apart. And I'm like, this belt's going to hold you?
Yeah. It's a quality belt right there.
Yeah, no kidding.
Well, you try to rip a belt, Taste, it's not going to happen.
You don't
know,
man.
You can't do it, then Cyclone can't.
You haven't seen me lose lately, man. Give me a phone book. I'll rip that in half too, Artosis.
Yeah.
So, Reaper's going to come up here now from Maru. He's getting a peek. He wants to see where the tech is at and what direction it might be going in. It is gunned down by the infantry for GuMiho here.
Yeah, gets completely wrecked. At least he saw a tech lab on the factory. That does tell him siege tanks are on the way, which makes his Cyclones definitely a lot weaker. Shouldn't be able to really do too much.
We have a Hellion and a Reaper now moving out here for GuMiho to try to get a peek inside what's happening at Maru's base. We'll see how ready he is. He might split this with the Hellion going into the natural and then the Reaper going into the main. But with it being spotted by that SCV, I don't think either is a really viable idea.
This game does look like it's just going to get into a very normal spot, but it's kind of interesting the way in which it is, right? GuMiho is the one that's going for like siege tanks rather than Cyclones, and that's more of the macro-ish approach. Obviously Cyclones can be used very well for defense, and that's what Maru is transitioning his own into at the moment.
Okay, we have the pickup now. GuMiho going. It's a very straightforward strategy, but if Maru's not prepared for this, this is going to be very bad. I believe there were 2 Cyclones. I'm not sure if they're still there, but I believe there were 2 Cyclones in the main. I think they're still down there, but I don't know if he can react in time. And the fact that he might be able to get a very good position with tanks set up. Oh, hold on. He's actually going to go. This is kind of a crazier move here. He's going to go right over towards where the production is.
Oh my
if he can take out that tank over there, Maru's tank on the right, there will be not that much to combat this location.
Yeah, definitely a lot of damage being dealt already. 6 SCVs falling. A lot of these Marines still left alive. 10 SCVs now down. A siege tank or 2 killed as well.
So one of the fundamental rules we know about taking another Terran player out is trying to get over their production. In fact, if he can get that stim, or deny that stim, I should say, I don't know if there's going to be that much else that he can do.
Siege tank coming out, though. It looks like he should be able to save his own stim. But 11 SCVs did fall. Luckily, he had the command center first, so he had a little bit of a lead going into this.
Oh, he's got to be careful. He's going to lose that medevac if he's not.
But at the end of the day, it looks like that SCV lead does go to GuMiho, who also has his 3rd command center finished up now.
Now, Maru's stim, since it was not denied, it is going to finish first. So there is some of an opportunity for Maru to try to come in here and initiate in between the window where he has stim and his opponent does not. Will he do that? I'm not entirely sure. That was a pretty big blow.
Yeah.
Maru probably feeling pretty uncomfortable overall moving out on the map, especially with those medevacs leaving that GuMiho used for the drop there earlier. Maru has to be aware that the threat of that coming in once again is very real.
Yeah, it is real, but he never made a 3rd command center, so I think that there is just no option here for Maru other than to move out. He's got this stim way ahead of time. Looks like he will start his 3rd command as he moves out. Good cover for it, but he definitely has a lot of potential to get some damage done here.
Okay, Maru now moving through the center of the map. GuMiho does have a sensor tower on his side of the map, which will make initiating in any kind of sneaky way for Maru a little bit more difficult. We'll see if he decides to do that anyways. In fact, it looks like there's a small chance that
he's just going to
go. Yeah, he's just going to go right for it. He's going to try to initiate on the side that the sensor tower wouldn't see. Oh, hold up. This is a pretty big spot here.
That's a lot of damage.
Whoa. It's like we finish each other's sandwiches at the exact same time. Yeah, it is like that.
That's exactly what it's like.
Yeah.
How did you know that?
I don't know. So he's gotten into a position here which is not a terrible Maru is in, because we know that the 4th base, the most likely location to be taken for that is that location, at least for GuMiho's 4th base, whereas GuMiho can't quite deny that for Maru. But Maru's not finished. He's going to try to come in here with a drop, and this is a pretty heavy commitment. He's going to get these tanks out here now, along with these Marines. He's sieging up. A lot of these SCVs very bunched up.
Looks like these medevacs are going to be picked off very, very quickly, and the SCVs are going to get a citizen's arrest here on these siege tanks.
That was 14 kills.
Yeah.
That was 14 workers picked off, and now he's going to try to initiate down here. He takes out the Liberator, going to take out both these 2 tanks. The tank's not actually targeting the opposing tanks of Maru here.
And he's picking off a few of them. His siege tank's still sitting back, getting a lot of pot shots right now. 15 SCVs going down. A few more will end up falling, and Maru has his 3rd base up through all this. So at the end of the day, looking at this, Maru kind of like made up for all the damage he took earlier in his later 3rd command.
He certainly did. He actually has now evened up the worker count, at least for the time being. The only thing I worry about here from Maru is that he lost a decent amount of his army while he was doing that. And this always happens when you're trying to get workers over getting the other units and playing a straight-up fight. So if GuMiho can decide to gather up and actually push out, there is a chance, I should say, that Maru may be too brittle to defend.
Well, he doesn't even have any medevacs. He doesn't have a single Viking. Really nothing here to heal up his units. And with a drop incoming and his units kind of having to be out front, this is deadly. GuMiho is going to deal a lot of damage with this.
Okay. He's now unloading over here by the command center. There's really not that much to defend. It doesn't seem like Maru has anything other than the units that are coming out of the barracks to try to help stop this. And in fact, until the more Marines can come down here, it looks like GuMiho can stay. So those Marines do come. He does back up. This may mean it's a little bit more vulnerable here at Maru's third base in the front. But yeah, GuMiho definitely seizing the moment and being the initiator.
And if he can continue to do that, he will be in good shape. He's got a huge air advantage right now, a ton of medevacs and Vikings out. But Maru started 2-2 quicker, does have more siege tanks as well. So if this game goes a lot longer, then suddenly Maru definitely can flip it on its head.
Maru always a player who seems to, if you let him get into the late game, that's always what he's setting up for. Now hold up, GuMiho going to dive in. He sees these tanks are exposed, and he does take out both before any real damage can be dealt back to that army. GuMiho narrowly escaping. Meanwhile, a drop over here in an exposed location in Maru's main.
Yeah, a few Marines coming down. A siege tank as well. He should be able to push this back with help of that siege tank, but GuMiho is making so many fantastic moves here, Tasteless.
He's going to take this tank out now, and I have to say, even though I like what Maru was trying to do to get into the late game, I don't know if he has enough to defend here from the onslaught of GuMiho. SCV's now being pulled while the main's still taking damage there from the drop. A counter drop here from Maru comes down, but that's going to be running right into the reinforcement line here, and that means he's going to take out all this infantry, the medevac, everything. And we may be seeing GG with GuMiho now taking this game into a 2-1 lead.
Absolutely, you're right about that. Maru's got nothing left at this point, trying to pull some sort of defense, but his SCV count is tiny. He lost that command center, and GuMiho for sure going to be able to take this one down.
Yeah, so much damage dealt over here. These Marines coming forward to try to defend, but you can see GuMiho, he had a slightly bigger army, he had a slight lead, and he did not want this game to go on to a later point where maybe Maru would be able to take advantage of the upgrades he was getting. He denied Maru that opportunity. GG, GuMiho again now in the lead, 2-1 over Maru.
Yeah, this is going pretty well for GuMiho, I gotta say. Even going up against the kind of risky command center first build there by Maru, GuMiho is able to just pull it right out. A good initial tank drop with Marines, dealing some decent damage. Maru's counterattack actually did fairly decent, right? It kind of got him even, but he did sacrifice a lot of medevacs there. Didn't really have any mobility after that.
Let's see what happens now in game 2, or rather game 4. That's the second win there for GuMiho. I do feel like GuMiho is really showing that he is much more worthy as an opponent compared to Maru in this series. I felt like maybe GuMiho would pull off a few fast ones in this series, but overall, if we got into long games, if we got into late games, if we got into proper openers, Maru should automatically have a lead, and GuMiho seems to understand the pacing of the game so well. He's able to respond to everything that Maru's doing. Like, he knew he had to get in there and do damage. Don't let those upgrades get too high, or Maru is going to have an inherent advantage. He's going to be in the place in the game that he wanted to get to.
He's doing fantastically, Tasteless. He only needs 2 more wins, and he goes to his first fight.
All right, guys. This is game number 4, GuMiho versus Maru. Right now, GuMiho up with a 2-1 lead. In the upper right, in the blue.
Storm Gaming, GuMiho.
Oh, dude, he sent another SCV.
Oh my God!
This is going to be a series where it's like, well, the default play is proxy, and then you gotta randomize some regular play in there so they don't get too ready for it.
I love it.
In the bottom left, in the red, he is
Jin Air Green Wings, Maru.
Now hold on, did he send 2 SCVs or 1 SCV?
It was 2. It was 2.
2, of course. Yeah, I love it. Oh my God. I was hoping that we'd have proxies like every single game. Just let's get this to be the dirtiest series ever.
I know.
It's like 2 of the very best Terrans just pull this out against each other. Oh my God. It's like just seeing one base like robo pushes in PvP or Baneling circling every game in CVC. It's just like the dirtiest. Oh,
well,
man.
You got to think, especially the randomization of this cheese this time around, where it almost doesn't seem like we've randomized it. It seems like it's the actual play he wants to use in every game. If he wins here against Maru, he has so much room to try to experiment with wins from there. I mean, he's definitely playing this as what it is, a best of 7.
You know, this map in particular, Tasteless, is like the worst map to do this on, in my opinion, because you only have one entrance. There's no back entrance. You can't go around and jump up into the back natural. Like, it's right here. You have one little jump up and a ramp. So the jump up actually takes too long. You're basically going to be going up the ramp, which means it should be defendable.
Hold on. Let's see where the Reaper goes. Okay, he sees this now. If he can get the first Reaper, kind of odd mind placement there. If he can kill that first Reaper, oh my God, if he had just gotten that. Because I was going to say, it can snowball. If you take out that first Reaper, then it's really hard to catch up. Now, that being said as well, he's trying to get a tech lab over here. He's already dishing out a lot of damage onto this. I'm under the impression that GuMiho has this build very much mapped out for what are the possibilities to happen right here, right now, right? Like, he knows that there's one Reaper that can defend. There's no way that SCVs are going to get up here in time to save the tech lab.
Oh, my God. Now he's just got to force this bunker to get up right now. He's got that Hellion out, so he might be able to do this. But GuMiho's micro is really precise here. Ends up losing a Reaper. And I think that this is basically held, right?
He makes a factory over here.
This is too funny.
It's not over, Ortos. GuMiho doubles down.
Now, does he make a Cyclone? Is he going to do a Siege Shank push?
I bet it's going to be a Cyclone.
The fact that he has a reactor there is hilarious as well. Oh, my God.
Okay, it's a tank.
I love it. He's just going to Siege Shank push up. Because right now you're making Cyclones to defend, and Cyclones don't do as well against a Siege Shank. If you have anything to buffer...
Well, especially if you have a bunch of Reapers that you can juggle grenades with. Now, hold on. We can see that he's going to try to gain some ground over here, pushing out. There may be a window of vulnerability right now here for GuMiho in this very odd build that we're seeing here.
He sees the starport. This is so funny.
He actually stops.
Rumplebildskin.
Yeah, I know. This is Rumplebildskin if we've ever seen it before. He's going to do what? All right. Well, that means I think that this game is going to be a loss here for GuMiho. The idea was cool. But again, if you start to catch on to what's happening, you can usually hold it.
Yeah, this is not looking so hot for him now. Like, he's got a few. He's got this Reaper trying to fight back so he can make the Siege Shank. But the fact that he had to cancel that starport so late, and there's a Banshee with Cloak on the way.
The tank was killed as well, so it's just, it's all bad. He can keep cycling Cyclones out here. The Banshee, of course, is going to go northbound towards the main base of GuMiho, where there really is nothing to defend.
Yeah, like literally nothing. I think when it gets there, he might just GG.
I would not be surprised. He doesn't even need to cloak. He can wait until finally a Viking comes out and then cloak, and it's like, oh.
He's going to lose so many SCVs. Like, the turret build time, the C-Base just finished. Turret build time is 100 million SCVs are about to die. Or like 15, however many there are in the space.
Somewhere between 100 million and 15 for sure.
Yeah, it's like 18. It's like closer to the 15.
It's actually 14. I'm like, well, that's too bad. We had a lot of different numbers in there, and I guess that wasn't one of them. So,
look at that. Oh, my God.
Now look at there it is. GG. Maru wins game 2. We're going on to game 5.
Yep. So it's 2-2 right now.
2-2.
A lot of proxies so far. 3 out of 4 games having proxies. I'm just like sitting here kind of giggly, tasteless, wondering if the next game, like, Maru will go double proxy and lose. Like,
I'm also wondering if they're just going to walk away from using this play style. I mean, especially after that last game, I like that GuMiho had something in store for that, but you can see that I think part of the problem was also that we had so many proxies early on that I think, even though Maru wasn't expecting there to be a factory and a starport there, he probably thought, okay, I got to get out and try to intercept these Reapers as they're coming forward.
Well, they only come in one direction, so you can actually push down and, like, again, that map, I'm surprised he did it there.
We're going to a short break. When we come back, our next game, GuMiho versus Maru, in this fight to go on to the finals of the GSL Codex.
But I know, I know, I'm just talking to myself. Talking to
봄꽃책에서 듣다. 있는 그대로 맑고 깨끗하게 피어나라고 겨울을 이겨낸 봄꽃이 내게 말했다. 맑고 깨끗한 칠성사이다.
냄새가 나. 어두운 곳에 숨은 냄새를 풍기는 바로 너!
바로 너! 원인은 쾌쾌한 에어컨 냄새. 신제품 페브리즈 차량용으로 상쾌하게 차량용.
오버워치 아이돌 학교를 소개합니다. 대한민국을 대표하는 최고의 게임 아이돌을 육성시키는 e스포츠 전문 학교.
상사, 우리는 오버워치 아이돌 학교의 교육과정을 성실히 임하며
최고의 게임 아이돌로 성장할 것을 다짐합니다.
좋았어. 이제부터는 진지 모드.
오버워치 아이돌 학교의 목표는 졸업과 동시에 즉시 천상계 입문.
제가 여러분을 돌보겠어요.
신입생 입학 조건 단 하나, 게임 실력 필요 없어요. e스포츠와 오버워치를 사랑하고 PC방을 좋아하면 돼요. 왜냐고요? 저희 오버워치 아이돌 학교에는 여러분의 실력 향상을 위한 1:1 맞춤형 수업이 준비되어 있거든요.
따라올 수 있겠어?
영웅의 이해, 전장의 이해, 오버워치 멘탈 관리야, 실전 훈련. 우리 팀 피해 상황이 심각할 때 훈련은 필수인데요.
마음을 비우고 눈앞의 임무에 집중하라.
실전 대처술 등 체계적인 교과 수업, 그리고 균형 잡힌 PC방 식단을 통해 게임 아이돌로 성장하게 됩니다. 대한민국을 넘어 전 세계를 입덕시킨 오버워치 아이돌 프로게이머로 탄생되는 거죠. 오버워치 아이돌 학교는 매주 목요일 저녁 10시에 방송됩니다.
뭘 넋을 놓고 보고 있나?
등교 시간 확인하여 지각하지 마세요. 오버워치 아이돌 학교.
아직도 안 됐어.
같이 하던가.
뭐야?
그 반지라는 게임인데 누구하고 돼도 몬스터 사냥할 수 있어?
그렇죠.
조합을 통해서 이런 아이템을 가져갈 수 있다는 게 매우 메리트가 좀 크다고 생각합니다. 야, 근데 무기가 봐봐, 존나 멋있잖아.
대상이에요, 이거.
그래.
나이스.
오, 좋아. 자, 지금 이렇게 하는 중간에도 자동 사냥이 돼가지고
그렇죠?
EXP 경험치가 오지게 오르고 있죠. 혹시 1위 길드 가입 되냐 물어봐. 와, 와, 반지 많은 다운 부탁드리고.
사랑.
예,
When it's silver. All right.
What's up, guys? We're back at the GSL Codas. These games have been going a lot faster than I think any of us expected. We've had so many games where there's been proxies of some sort.
3 out of 4 so far.
That's right.
Can we see a 4 out of 5? We're going to see next on Ascension to Ire.
I don't think we're going to have it this time, but...
Well, it's Maru's turn. We had the Truce game, right, where he went Command Center first. And now it's time to roll those dice again and do double proxy Rex Reaper.
And one of the more aggressive and wild TVTs we've seen here in a GSL. These guys are really trying to play, in some ways, outside of the way that everybody perceives them playing in order to try to engineer a win. I'm fascinated because I thought both these guys might want to rely a little bit more on mechanics.
Yeah.
As far as macro mechanics go, I should say. Obviously, there's mechanics involved when you do an aggressive build, but and with GuMiho being aggressive, I get that. I didn't think it was going to be proxies. I thought it was going to be like some one-base pressure as he comes in there, tries to do a little bit of damage, maybe drop the main after that or something.
Well, I expect some amount of proxies, like, a best of 7, couple proxy games, but 3 out of 4 so far is a little bit higher than what I was expecting. At this point, I just want it to keep going. I want this to be crazy. Let's have some Marauder proxies. Come on.
Game number 5 will be on the map, Ascension to Ire. Only 3 possible games remaining here in this best of 7. These 2 players, only one can move on to the finals of the oldest esports show in English, the oldest tournament, the GSL Code S, the most coveted championship in esports, in all competition in the world, the greatest show on earth.
You gotta be one of those guys that just calls out when his king is coming.
In the upper left.
Psystorm Gamer.
Oh, yeah.
GuMiho.
You know that guy from like A Knight's Tale?
Yeah.
What was it, a Chaucer or something? I forget.
There's the term for that where you say what all the titles of the king.
Yeah.
Like Maru, one of the 4 horsemen, first of his name.
Yeah.
Leader of the bottom right side of the map.
Maru.
The Red Terran.
The Red Terran.
The Marine Prince.
Yes.
The King of Thieves. It's just like...
And Thief of Kings.
Yeah. We need to make some really good ones like that. Like
Game
really
of
long
Thrones
ones.
is coming, man.
Oh my God, that's right. That show is going to come back, isn't it?
Yeah.
Eventually, right? It is supposed to come back, isn't it?
I think it's like 2 or 3 weeks, man.
Is it? Oh,
yeah.
That's fun. That's exciting.
What?
He's looking for proxies. He knows there has to be a proxy. Why wouldn't GuMiho proxy?
Look at Maru. It's learning, Artosis.
Maru OP.
OP from France. Welcome to the
Maru's
studio.
from Korea, bro. Kid doesn't even know.
Well, there's no proxy this time, man.
Yeah. What do we even do? I don't know how to commentate this. So what else is new, Artosis? Thanks, guy in the chat.
Denied. That was more of an SCV chest bump there. So they're both going to scout each other. Thanks for coming down.
A lot of people in the audience here today. Turning out to see an epic match. I mean, it's already going to 6 maps no matter what, right? So that's pretty awesome. Definitely a close one.
You notice there's a big pylon in the middle of the map, Artosis?
Yeah, that's the Tasteless pylon.
Is that the Tasteless, or is that the ultimate Artosis pylon?
Well, it doesn't power anything, so...
If you blow that up, all the plants on the map die. It's unbelievable.
Oh, my gosh.
If you blow up that pylon, you lose power in the studio. Okay, now, he might not be done with his sneakery. Look at this. He's going to try to hide
proxy cloak
a
Banshee?
starport. Yeah, I think so. These guys, this Terran versus Terran is something else.
I love it, though. Like,
It's
just
getting tough for us to have an ordinary game. Now, I would say this is, as far as, being aggressive or being cheesy, this is pretty milquetoast compared to some of the other stuff we've seen and stuff you can do in a TVT, but it's still leaning towards a direction of deception and surprise.
Well, I like it kind of, right? Because if you're going to play a normal game, a lot of times that'll involve making a Raven first. And, like, if you have only a Raven, that doesn't really counter the Banshee. So, kind of a neat move. And, well, also the other part, I guess, that you have to consider is if they go, like, Raven Viking, or even just making units out of the barracks and whatnot, if you have to fly all the way across the map, they have a lot more when you get there with the Banshee. But this one's going to get in there just after a starport unit pops.
Okay, here comes that Reaper hopping up. Not taken out just yet. You can see the aggression attempted. Oh, nade connects there on some of the infantry there from Maru.
And Maru actually got a lot of intel, Tasteless. Getting that Reaper up there is absolutely huge. To see that his opponent is going Cloaked Banshee as well, he can defend against this. And if you're making Cloaked Banshees don't sit at home to defend against Cloaked Banshees. So he's going to be in a lot of trouble, GuMiho.
He's going to be able to initiate first. He's going to have a tempo advantage, assuming that everything's executed correctly here from Maru.
All right. Did he cancel Cloak? I believe GuMiho did, didn't he?
Oh, he had to have, right?
Yeah.
It would not be.
Well, it got scouted, so it makes sense.
So, we're going to wait and see what exactly the response is going to be when the Banshees actually do come out. Not surprising, by the way, from GuMiho. He's gathered up units to try to be a little bit aggressive and put pressure on the front. We've seen GuMiho do this a lot in different games where he tries to chip off a few units at the entrance and really force you to keep on top of your army and where that's going to be in this game. The Banshee now coming up. Okay, easy peasy gunning down what's already over here. But when the Cyclone comes out, that'll force the Banshee back. Cloak is not done just yet.
That would be so painful if he actually loses that. Whoa. Very, very close to dying off there, but luckily he does get away. He still has his SCV, so he can repair this up.
And he'll be doing that right now. The Raven is actually looking around the map, hoping to chuck a turret down there underneath the Banshee to gun it down.
Not going to get the chance, unfortunately, here for GuMiho, but that does get repaired up a bit, and he can send these Banshees out once more. GuMiho's Banshee flying home now, not able to do much damage.
Might try to just get the few Marines that are over here or the SCV. Anything he can get as a kill is going to be worth it. Of course, when the Banshee's that wounded, you really have to stay back. You do not want to overextend with it.
Finally finds that starport, so going to be able to get rid of that. Ooh, the Banshee in the main base, though. Going to be able to get quite a few more SCVs before everything gets up here and actually clears it out.
Okay, he's getting some decent kills here. You can see the snap repair there as he's trying to get those SCVs to be healed up before they can actually be picked off. But 6 kills, not bad. That makes the overall worker count here 42 for Maru to 37 here for GuMiho. But keep in mind that the starport is basically going to get taken out. It's going to be out of commission for a little while. And that can have a much greater impact later on in the game. Just not having access to as many starport units can actually give GuMiho some more opportunities to try to come in here and harass.
You're quite right about that. And also, we should mention that GuMiho, he has the faster third command. His is already done as Maru starts. And he has 2 eBays already upgrading. So there's a lot of ways in which GuMiho is going to get ahead soon.
Oh, he did not quite click that out of the range. It actually stopped.
Yeah.
I don't believe the starport should still burn down. There's no SCV over there, right, to repair that?
Got that.
We have an engagement over here now in the middle of the map. Both players on the opposite sides here to where their bases are at. It does seem, though, that GuMiho's army has thinned out enough. He probably will have to retreat. In fact, the Banshee coming forward. Revenge of the Banshee. We never get to see Banshees kill Cyclones, but now we've seen it all.
I like that little scan. He was not even able to kill it. That anti-air just not that powerful from the Cyclones.
Is there something wrong with my eyes? Is there a Banshee killing a Cyclone? He scans. So that doesn't help my vision, but...
Well, the Banshee harassment not done quite yet. Maru just keeping this up, just like the old days. Non-stop Banshees flying in, but we would have called these the best Banshees back in those days.
Oh, that's true.
You don't get double-digit kills on each Banshee, but even these small little pokins he's doing definitely are giving him some value. That third command center is just now going to be landing for GuMiho, which is ahead of Maru's, but not by very much considering when he got it.
Goodbye, starport. It is now burned down, so it's finally out of the game. Going back over to Maru's base, you can see in some ways it's similar to what we saw in some of the other games, including one that Maru lost, was that Maru is overall trying to stay like a little bit further ahead in the end game. But GuMiho may have some opportunities to try to come in here and do some damage. Possibly, we'll see, as Maru's trying to develop.
GuMiho's upgrades are really well ahead right now. Look at that 2-2 started.
That's what I'm worried about. Maru might have to wait a while before he's able to have bigger engages, especially when you get later on in TVT and you have a lot of units. If one side has an upgrade advantage, because Terran armies deal damage so fast to each other, it can snowball to an insane exponential amount.
Oh, yeah.
Where one guy comes like way ahead in what looks like it could have been a fairly even fight. It happened so fast.
Even one Marine upgrade with how quickly they fire is pretty insane.
Yeah. Once that first kill happens on the side where the superior upgrades, it's crazy how quickly everything else starts to die.
Yeah. It's like an avalanche or something.
It is. It is an avalanche of damage in the fight. So, GuMiho now is going to try to cross through the middle of the map. We see a scan there in the middle, and that also triggers Maru to try to pick up. possibly to rotate around through the bottom and then up north, maybe trying to hit some of these expansions that might not be defended here for GuMiho, but GuMiho might have the opportunity to actually try to full-on initiate on the third.
Well, this is really the big difference between GuMiho and Maru or TY, right? Like, that's 2 medevacs of Marines. This is a very TY move as well, where you just kind of sit at home defending against a GuMiho who wants to hit you with everything, and then you move out with a smaller group and see what you can get done with that. But GuMiho is actually playing very well against this. In a lot of his games, like for instance against TY, when TY was doing this, he would take a bunch of damage, but he's out trying to deal damage as well. Instead, he's defending quite well. He's actually chasing this down knowing it's here.
Okay, he's stimming and coming down now. He's trying to trap that army. Meanwhile, a drop here from GuMiho. It doesn't appear that there's anything in range to defend this. The tank is still too far back. We see him unloading now over here. It does appear, though, that now he will be able to pick this up. Keep in mind the medevac unable to escape since the turret was just a little bit above where that position is. Whenever you're doing attacks like these, you have to remember that principle that drops do act like a double-edged sword. Sure, you can do a lot of damage and really get them out of position, but if you're losing your army and those medevacs and not trading effectively, you're getting yourself behind, too.
Yeah, 1 full medevac represents approximately 10 supply of army, and it's not always the cheapest supply either, so definitely does count quite a bit, especially that starport build time. Here comes GuMiho now, trying to attack here from a slight high ground advantage. A nice little force.
Oh, he's actually doing a great job targeting the tanks here for Maru. I thought Maru was going to be able to handle this a little bit better. Maru, by the way, going ahead and sniping those medevacs that are hovering over the Marines, just trying to cover the tanks.
GuMiho's got a huge amount of Marines right now. Look at this, maneuvering around, and he might even be able to force a cancel here on the 4th command center of Maru, kind of being built in a funny location.
But Maru has too much. Maru comes out here and bats this right out of the upper position. Another drop comes down here, but it seems like Maru is ready. I do worry GuMiho may be overextending a little bit here. Even though his supply is up and he's doing a very good job, I wonder if, especially with the tanks and medevacs that might get lost during this process, if Maru does hold it, if a counterattack might be just too strong.
Well, this is kind of GuMiho's style, right? He's like multitasking all over the place. That was 3 attacks at once going on, but all of them get cleaned up without too much effort here from Maru. Yeah, he lost a few siege tanks and whatnot, but at the end of that push, he's still fine. He's still making his 4th command center and everything, but GuMiho keeps this pressure on. He's got his 3-3 started, and he just landed his 4th command.
Those SCVs now transferred over to that location. Again, GuMiho trying to lean on Maru. He wants to keep Maru on the defense. He's looking for some kind of hole, some kind of opening where he can really come in there and do that critical damage. Maru so far has defended pretty well. He's lost maybe a little bit more tanks than we would have wanted to see.
Yeah.
But that's, of course, also something you have to really praise GuMiho for. He's engaging, but he's hitting the right units to keep this balanced out. Now, hold on. Is this going to be the moment where we might have a full-on engage? Stim there for GuMiho. Stim a little bit later for Maru. But with Liberators out, I think, GuMiho is going to have to give up this position.
Okay, does push him back, picks up those siege tanks, make sure they aren't taking any damage, and GuMiho backing up now as well. Maru, the one big advantage that he has right now, because GuMiho is kind of macroing like a god and has his bases up a little bit quicker, but Maru has a really good Sky Army. He has a good amount of Vikings here, and that means that these positional games he can outplay GuMiho on, but let's see, a bunch of Marines coming in on top of everything.
Okay, he dives in and sets up his own siege tanks. Again, you have to have your Marines in front of the siege tanks, because if your siege tanks are taking fire from not only their siege tanks, but the Marines as well, you're going to have a bad time. Oh, man, I hope Maru's paying attention!
Ooh. I feel like I just stepped into the cold ocean. I'm like, oh, my God. That would have been crazy.
Like that.
If GuMiho catches that, that could be a victory right there. But looks like Maru does get back in time, lets his units out, holds onto his 4th base as well.
Man, it seems like GuMiho is expanding too fast and has too much of a lockdown on where Maru can move.
Yeah, he's even got 3-3.
Yeah. He's actually playing an incredible game.
He is. This is like super good play, but I don't want to count Maru out because he does have this kind of air advantage. He's been focusing more heavily on things like Vikings and Liberators, and positionally, you can outplay the guy that has more Marines with something like this, but it's tough. This is a huge map, and there's a ton of bases.
I think the problem is that the number of bases that GuMiho has, and I think how long it's going to take for Maru to ever engage those bases, I think that GuMiho can engineer an air advantage in that amount of time as well.
Yeah.
In fact, he's going to stim forward here. Great flank here from two sides.
Oh, man.
Takes the tanks out. The CC lifts up. Only Marines here with tanks covering them for this base that might not be around for much longer here for Maru.
Oh, God, and with that 3-3 advantage, GuMiho stayed the exact right amount of time until the siege tanks firing was a little bit too much for him. And now he's going to go again, bringing up his siege tanks as well. This command center will end up falling.
Oh, my God. I think Maru's just going to lose this game. We're going to have GuMiho up 3-2 in this best of 7. I mean, he only have to win one more game after this one, which we assume he will win pretty much no matter what, just based on how it's looking.
Well, this is just so fantastic.
This is a crazy drop.
Oh, my God.
Crazy drop. Where's it going to go? Come on, guys. You know the lyrics.
Nobody knows.
Crazy drop.
I didn't think that was the lyrics.
Yeah.
We finish each other's songs at the exact same
sandwiches. He's going to siege up over here in the main. And I think there's just, this is
say it, tasteless. Give it to me real.
Lights out.
Yeah, this is way too much damage. GuMiho definitely has outplayed Maru here. This was so well done by GuMiho, taking his bases a bit quicker, staying on top of those upgrades. That flank, as you were saying, at the third base, just awesomely done.
Yeah. Insult to injury here. He's going to drop now on the rest of these remaining tanks. That was really the only thing that was there to sandbag the onslaught of GuMiho's army from actually moving in any further.
Oh, God. GuMiho coming up to the other side as well, sieging up here in range of this planetary. Going to see if he can push through here now. Maru having a hard time getting his tanks around to defend everything. He's down so much army supply. Oh, just brutal.
As you can see, Maru trying to hang on for dear life right now. And I respect this from Maru. I mean, there's so much on the line here. If GuMiho could just overextend and perhaps misplay just a little bit, maybe Maru could stay in this game. But it seems like GuMiho is not really making any blunders. He's having some trades that maybe aren't that favorable. But then you look at the economy, the economic engine that GuMiho set up for himself, and he can basically become a Zerg player this game and just keep attacking it over and over. GG. GuMiho wins game number 5. That means he's 1 win away from going on to the finals. His first finals in a GSL Code S.
It's a crazy thing to think about. GuMiho is not yet a champion. Maru, of course, this guy has been there before. Not the GSL per se, but he is a champion. He's been at the top for so long. And now GuMiho might have his shot. But Maru's not done yet. Yeah, GuMiho beat him out there, but it's 3-2. This is still anyone's series.
Maru right now probably a bit panicked because not only did GuMiho just play better that last game, but a lot of Maru's losses have been from these weird openers that involve proxies, and GuMiho still has some more opportunities to try that out. Even if it doesn't work, you can try something else. Basically, Maru has to bring the most solid TVT we've ever seen if he wants to survive this game and the next.
You're very right about that. And our next map is going to be the only four-player map so far, at least.
There are maps with 4 players?
Well,
how many people are in the game?
4.
Well, where do they spawn? How do they know?
Yeah, well, we don't show the other ones. They're playing their own shadow.
They got to look at all the other spots, but then how will they proxy each other?
Well, that's the hard thing, but will they?
I don't know. We're going to find out. This is game number 6. Right now, GuMiho up 3-2 versus Maru. Only one of these players can go on to the finals of Season 2 of the GSL Code S. Oh my God,
there's a proxy.
In the upper right, he is.
Storm Gaming, GuMiho.
This is awesome.
Dun, 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 dun. Wow. Did you hear the Korean commentators?
What?
Whoop. Whoop. Very funny sound effect came out of them.
Well, he makes the barracks. It's like, well, what did you think he was doing out there?
So if you've never seen StarCraft 2 and you've never seen a turn versus turn before, I'm going to explain to you the matchup very simply. One guy proxies the other guy and hopes the other guy isn't ready, and then we kind of see what happens.
Yeah. Well, so far in this series, this is the 4th proxy out of 6 games.
I think you're right. 4 out of 6.
Yeah, Maru won his only proxy he's done.
But what if?
Oh my God!
What if he makes 2 barracks in his main?
You have to.
That's
be
closer
me.
to where his base is, and he just checks. Oh my God.
Well, this is a victory for GuMiho, I think, Tasteless. Like, this is such an advantage. He has 2 barracks, so he cannot be broken. And if Maru jumps up falsely one time, Reapers can chase down Reapers reasonably well. GuMiho right now, he's like, you see that little smirk? The side of his mouth just went up a little bit. He's sitting there, he's thinking, I'm going to a GSL Finals!
I think that's exactly what he's thinking. If we could have a little like bubble above his head, that's what it would be.
Look at this. And the second barracks is out of range for that SCV. You just barely can't see it.
It looks like GuMiho's doing an innocent, I'm going to play a straight-up game build.
Yeah.
But in fact, he's just doing almost an identical build to what Maru's doing, but in his own base, which means you do not have to deal with all the burden of trying to relocate your structures or anything that can curb your ability to get into proper mid-game.
Dude, he's going to be in such good shape after this.
Oh, he's getting the Reaper. Oh, he gets the kill.
GuMiho right now is in such good shape. He already was.
Okay,
oh, you're so dead. You're so dead, Maru. Oh, no. Look at the look on Maru's face.
Maru knows. GuMiho just, in fact, he's smiling. He knows he took a risk in Game 6, hoping that he could come back.
Well, and there's still some small chance he's making a factory, right? He can come in with his own Reapers and flank these Reapers. GuMiho won't know the exact moment when he's coming in either. So definitely there are he has to go. He has to go up and do it now,
Even gets the SCV making the factory. Now he wants to try to get this Reaper over here. Mine's very important for where they're laying. Uh-oh, he's going to be able to pin this Reaper. Oh, my God. And in fact, he can get this other Reaper that's coming up here that fires. The fires. What am I even talking about? He's still doing too much damage.
Yeah.
As long as these Reapers get up here, I think we're going to have GG momentarily unless Maru can make a miracle happen. Hold on.
Can he kill all these? Oh, my God. They're so low.
3 remain.
His SCV count is just dying right now.
It's 24 SCVs to 12. Obviously, Maru in the deficit here. The Reapers now leaping up. Remember, they regen, so if you're not engaging them, you would just end up with a stronger army later on, and that last Reaper gets assassinated. One more comes in.
And this is just about the end of it, Tasteless. 9 SCVs remaining.
GG! GuMiho goes to the finals!
That is so crazy.
Wow.
Oh, my God. GuMiho, we have lived to see the day where GuMiho, after 7 years of being a StarCraft 2 professional gamer, has made the GSL Codes Finals.
That was awesome. I gotta say, he played a tricky game in this series. He was going for a lot of proxies. Yeah. He basically baited, if not goaded, Maru and then going for proxies himself to try to respond to that aggression. And GuMiho had it set up to just eat the counter proxy. A complete hard counter.
Yeah, you know what? What a touching story this is as well. GuMiho, one of the very small handful of players like Lucira, Lenok, Maru, GuMiho, and a couple others maybe, that have been around since the beginning. He has worked hard, he has persevered, he has not retired, and at the end of the day, he has reaped what he has sown.
Don't give up on yourself. Keep training, keep trying. And we're seeing the results of that right here, right now. GuMiho's done it. I think nobody, maybe not even GuMiho, thought he'd be getting to the finals this season. But it turns out everybody was wrong.
Based Gumi God.
That's right.
Goes to the finals. The Towel Terran himself.
That's right.
The OT, original
towel, yes. Finally, Gary says. He's done it. He's gone to the finals.
축하드립니다.
Everybody's cheering. He says, congratulations. He says, thank you.
소감 어떠세요?
Wow, so you did it. How do you feel?
아직도 믿기지 않는데.
I'm really happy.
그리고 진짜
I still can't believe what I did tonight.
진짜 정말 놀랐던 게 현우가 마지막에 빌드를
I was actually surprised a lot of times.
안 좋다고.
Bian
그게 돌개바람
advised me to do mix-ups with the builds.
우승자의 촉은 남다른가 봐요.
Especially my build that I use on Whirlwind.
마지막 세트 말씀하시는 것 같아요.
And Bian was totally correct. The advice worked out.
상대는 어떤 심정이었던 것 같아요?
아마 눈앞이 캄캄하지 않았을까.
It seems like you're reading his mind back there.
네, 정말 아마 제 더블을 보기 전까지 제 빌드를 알기 전까지는 그래도 일말의 희망이라도 있었는데 같은 투배를 알았을 때 정말 아무 생각도 안 들었을 것 같아요.
네, 와 고백주 선수 정말 기분 좋으실 것 같아요. 오늘 운영에서도 단단한 모습 그런데도 불구하고 참 전진력 빌드를 많이 쓰셨어요. 특별히 이유가 있을까요?
사실 이게 7전제를 준비하면서
네.
정말 힘들었고
You do a lot more macro games, but this time you're doing a lot of proxy builds. Tell us about that.
준비를 할 수가 없겠더라고요. 그래서
when you have multiple maps, it seems like I've got to mix it up.
현우는 많이 말렸어요.
네.
근데 그 말
I have to try to force in some short games, especially with proxy builds.
그래도 참 기분 좋은 결과 만들어냈습니다. 오늘 경기하시면서 이 피지컬하면 조성주인데 그런 조성주 선수를 1세트에서 컨트롤로 압도하기도 했잖아요. 그럴 땐 기분 어떠셨어요?
Maru's known to be the best. Everybody says that.
1세트 전진 병영을 예측해서 맞춤 빌드를
especially in that early set, you showed how good your micro was in that game.
저는 제가 컨트롤 잘 돼서 좀 막을 수 있을 줄 알았는데 못 맞고 역시 조성주 선수도 컨트롤 잘하시기 때문에 못 맞고 져가지고 약간 멘탈에 붕괴가 왔었는데.
In the first set it worked out pretty well, but on the second map.
자 오늘 이렇게 참 재밌는
I could
경기들을
feel that Maru
하면서
was absolutely the Maru that we all know. His control was so good, it defended everything.
네.
아 7년이나 기다렸는데 많이 기다리셨어요.
Excuse me, we're getting behind here. They're talking about the third map and how hard that was and how pivotal that was. Gary says it's taken you 7 years to become a GSL finalist.
그리고 진짜 이번에
My family comes to my mind now that I'm a finalist.
정말 연습을 열심히 도와준 옛 동료들이 정말 고마워요.
네. 누구 생각나세요?
진짜 김동원 선수랑
After there were 4 Terrans in this in the series before this.
현우도
Final 8.
많이 도와주고 그리고 재선이도
a lot of my
시간 날 때마다
friends
도와주고.
They were really supportive of me. Also, Bunny was very supportive. Beyond.
항상 이 성실함의 아이콘으로 불렸었습니다. 이 7년이란 도전 시간이 참 짧은 시간이 아니거든요. 그동안 힘들고 지치던 그런 때가 없으셨어요?
많이 있었죠. 떨어질 때마다 지쳤는데.
It must be very hard for you to be in the finals.
예. 그래도 뭔가 포기할 수가 없어가지고 계속 했는데 이렇게
every single moment
맺게 돼서.
Excuse me, there were plenty of moments where I wanted to give up.
여기까지
but somehow I just couldn't stop playing. I couldn't stop training.
5년이란 시간이 걸렸거든요.
네.
진짜.
From the semifinals to the finals, it took 4 years for me to actually get to a point where I'm here.
또 얼마나 걸릴지 알 수가 없기 때문에.
And now,
이제 또 군대도 가야 되고.
네.
I finally made it.
결승은 진짜 정말 열심히 준비할 생각이에요.
네.
And I really want to get the champion titles.
결승 가는데 5년이나 걸렸다고 합니다. 그런 만큼 상대도 정말 중요하잖아요.
Says he's ready to put everything on it.
와, 김도호 선수와 얼스 선수가 있거든요.
네.
So obviously it's going to be important who you face in the finals.
징크스가
Who are you looking for?
하고 싶은.
It's going to be Super Classic. Do you have anybody?
우승이 간절할 텐데.
He said, "Look, I'm not sure this is good to say,
네.
but Sue has that curse. He can't win a GSL if he gets to the finals. So I suppose that would be helpful to me."
내가 우승 거의 확신에 가까운 것 같은데요?
It seems like you met Sue in the finals. It might be an automatic win.
프락이라도 잡는 심정으로 그런 거라도 좀 있었으면 좋겠다 이런 생각이죠. 김도호 선수는 결승에서 진 걸 제가 본 적이 없어요. 맨날 이기시더라고요.
It's a little bit of a mind game.
그만큼 간절해 보입니다. 참 많은 분들이 응원해 주시고 계실 것 같은데요.
But I'm very desperate. I really want to pull through.
각오를 마지막으로 들어볼게요.
네, 오늘 메카닉을 기대하셨던 분들도 많이 있을 텐데.
Any final words, GuMiho?
사실 메카닉을 이렇게 함부로 쓸 수 있는
I know a lot of people were expecting to see more mech play.
그리고 결승 올라가게 되는데 정말 응원 많이 해주세요.
But you can't show mech builds every single match. You got to be careful when you bring it out.
자, 고병재 선수 첫 결승.
I'm going to pull out all my best plays in the finals. I'll prepare to show you guys some great games. And that does it for our interview. That's a crazy result, man. GuMiho, wow.
First time in the finals, only taken 15 tries.
Yeah,
in Code S.
Only 15 seasons.
15 times. Wow, what an awesome thing. The 4th Terran GSL finalist since Heart of the Swarm lost. Holy crap. That's kind of wild when you think about it. That's not a lot of different Terran players.
I gotta say, man.
Well, Sue took up most of the spots in the finals, so I guess that makes sense.
He actually occupied a lot of space in there. We'll see, guys. We're gonna have the broadcast on Saturday with Classic versus Sue. I'm very much excited to see that. I think Sue's supposed to win. Because this is one of the most consistent things in StarCraft 2 is that Sue gets to a finals. It's basically more consistent than anything else that I know of here.
It's like the sun rising or something.
Yeah.
Like sometimes the sun doesn't rise, just like sometimes Sue doesn't make the finals, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Sometimes we haven't, killed enough chickens and the sun does not rise and our crops all die because that's how science works.
Earth just freezes.
That's
that
right.
happens
Earth
every
just
now
freezes,
and then.
yeah.
That's called winter time.
Yeah.
In case you missed it, guys, in the chat.
So, definitely mark in your calendar when the finals is going to be, and do join us for the semifinals. It's going to be a very special one. Can Classic move on? Classic, somebody who's had, of course, huge success in the GSL Code S.
Yes, indeed,
He's been a champion. But Sue, somebody who seems to be unstoppable until it's to the most important part of a tournament.
And I tell you what, whoever goes up against GuMiho, that's going to be fun because this guy is a strategic mastermind. He's going to bring some crazy builds, crazy strats, and high-level understanding to that final. So, very awesome guy to finally have make it so far.
Was today fast? I feel like we got done very quickly. Yeah, this was a 2-hour broadcast.
6 proxy racks Reaper games
about
or
an
something?
hour and a half, I guess.
No, not 6, 4, but yeah.
It was like 9. It's kind of crazy. We don't even have that many games.
GuMiho proxied his own main with those double racks Reaper, man. That was the sneakiest thing.
Do not miss out on Saturday, 1 p.m. Korean Standard Time. Classic versus Sue to finish up the other side of the round of 4. One of these two players goes up against GuMiho. And that will be a fight to decide who is currently the best StarCraft 2 player in the world.
Yeah, it's wild to think that it is going to be one of these three, or perhaps it's going to be GuMiho or Classic. I don't want to curse or anything here, but this is going to be a great semifinals. Make sure you tune in 1 p.m. KST. That is 5.5 hours earlier than our normal start time. That is an NA-friendly time. So definitely check that out, guys.
And I guess that does it for you and me, Artosis. Really interested to see GuMiho beat Maru. The way the builds played out, the fact that Maru fell for the trap in Game 6 and got shut down there in a hard counter build win, which is not normally how you ever see Maru lose. Normally you have to have some finesse, some mechanics to beat him, but that was a pretty crazy ending.
Yeah, GuMiho doing so well in this tournament to 4-2 Maru in the round of 4. That is definitely quite an accomplishment. He's taken out TY. He's taken out somebody. He killed Zest in this tournament. He killed like Alive too. His TVT obviously top notch. He's been killing it in basically every tournament out there that he's been playing in. Even did super well in Super Tournament. I mean, he's on fire, man.
We're going to bring up the information. Are we not going to bring up a graphic for this? The finals is on. Wait, say it again.
24th at 6 p.m. KST. So definitely check that out as well. It'll be here at the studio.
Yeah. Don't miss out.
Don't miss out on that.
Don't screw
You know what else they shouldn't miss out on? Playing StarCraft 2 with the greatest voice pack on Earth.
Yeah, if you guys want to support us
Phoenix is
directly,
a great voice pack. That's what I use currently. Oh, yeah, the Tastosis voice pack as well.
Try out the Tastosis voice pack. If you want to support us directly, we hope you like that. We put a lot of love into that. And I guess that does it for you and I, Artosis. We're going to be back with the other side of the semifinals on Saturday, 1 p.m. KST. Don't miss out. We love you. Have a great morning, afternoon, or night, wherever you are.
crazy right now. Got me looking so crazy right now. Got me hoping you save me right now. Looking so crazy in love. Your love's got me hoping you save me right now. Your kiss got me hoping you save me right now. Looking so crazy in love. fucking got me